It's Dave here from Amplify, and I'm talking to Andy Kent from UMI. Obviously, no one over there knows how to be grammatical. It's you are me, but UMI. That's pretty cool. Where did where
That'll
did,
that'll that'll do, yeah.
how did that work? Just as a side issue, how did you come to UMI? Although you weren't there at the start, were you? You were there. You started in '92, and they started around '89.
Yeah, I think it might have been 90. I sort of did
Okay.
the sound before I joined the band, so I was kind of there from the beginning, but not playing bass until I don't know, a couple of second time we went to Melbourne, I think. Yeah, Tim
They
Martin
didn't.
might
You
have been
didn't
with me.
record music until '90. You were together for a while, but you didn't record any music for about a year or year and a half, I believe.
No, I didn't play on the first EP, but I played on the three after that, and then every other record. Yeah.
And briefly, how did it come together? Because there are some people that will turn up here and they won't. Oh, maybe some overseas they won't know who you are. So briefly, if you just can you give us a little synopsis?
Yeah, I suppose you and I started in Sydney, I suppose properly in the very early 90s. Think the band was pretty switched on to Seattle bands and like, I don't know, bands like Sonic Youth and, all these kind of bands which were sort of making the sort of music that they wanted to with no expectation of what that would hold as a career. Sonic Youth were just a bunch of art weirdos, and the guys in Seattle were just making music because they could. And that resonated with us and tons of other bands. And subsequently, it became that decades music.
Yeah.
But prior to it kicking off for whatever reason, I think it was actually Everett True who wrote an article in Melody Maker or Enemy, maybe it was Enemy. He went out there and just went to a ton of gigs and went, holy shit, what's going on here? And wrote like a 3-page article in the British music press, and everyone went, okay, we need to know about this. And so all the bands went to the UK, and they kind of broke out of the UK first.
Right.
Um, but yeah, all those early records, um, we listened to them and loved them with, no idea what was going to happen. And I suppose because that's the sort of music we're into, that's the sort of music we made, we also loved, a bit of your classic, The Who and the Stones. So mix it all together and throw it at a bunch of Kiwis and Aussies, then you kind of get us. So
Away you go. 10
away you go.
arias, 10 arias,
Right?
10 arias,
Yeah.
countless other nominations, Mo Awards, ARIA Hall of Fame last year. There's been a bit of quite a few highlights in there. How do you do it? Timmy's got such a big personality. He's probably always had that big personality out front there. He's a perfect front man, really, because you can tell that he loves what he does.
Yeah.
How's that sort of transacted over the 30 years?
Oh, look, he's actually a pretty quiet guy. Like when we hang out, we talk about music, talk about books, talk about movies, gossip about other people. But yeah, he's a pretty quiet dude,
Really?
really. Like he lives in the country and he's got, this big studio space, which is books and records and guitars and all sorts of
Uh,
things, paintings, and that's his happy place. So yeah, I think we all get a big kick out of playing music, and it's an outlet for everybody's in the room, not just us so much. But it's funny how someone that you see in a band on stage, you might not realize they're actually pretty quiet
Yeah.
people.
Well, but I suppose that translates really because he looks like an authentic character when he turns up, and he looks like, even if he's off key in some note or something like that, he looks like he's giving his all in a performance. Because it's a you get around, and it's not an easy thing to keep doing time after time after time. So it comes across well, obviously, and the fans obviously think the same. How,
Yeah.
how would you describe your sound if someone
Oh,
was
that's not for me to do. What,
too
what do
hard?
you reckon?
Too
What do
hard.
you
No,
reckon?
no, 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 no. I mean, I'm just thinking genre-wise. Would you do you mix across over the 30 years you made a lot of albums? Has it changed over time, or has the digitalization and all that sort of stuff moved the sound a lot, or are you still doing similar stuff to what you started with?
I mean, the digitization is just a bit of bastardry of everything, really. I mean, they're only tools and they're only methods of distribution, and they're kind of shit. Um,
Yeah,
there's nothing worse than a streaming service that's trying to feed you garbage that you just really do not want. It's like
yeah,
having an
yeah,
idiot friend pull records out of your own record collection and play all the wrong songs. But yeah, and like music making, it's really about the digitization of it. Just makes it quicker and easier. Um, but yeah, I think our sound has evolved the more we've added to it. Initially, it was just three people, and it was pretty raw, and everyone had to hold up a lot more of the tune and all the aspects of harmony and rhythm and timing. Like you can't just pick one little area and that's you. You've got to guitar, bass, and drums and vocals. That's all it is. And nowadays we've got obviously there's extra guitar, there's keyboards. On this next tour, we're taking our string quartet and playing theatres
yeah.
and
No, it's great.
playing different material. So I think we're pretty lucky in that we can we can flick from three-piece sort of energy and play tunes that just smack you across the kisser. And then we've also got a whole range of other songs that we can play with a string quartet.
What about just a quickie? What about you, Andy? I mean, one of the things that I do, I interview a lot of people, and a lot of them are 30, 40-year bloody people. I had Andy Scott the other day from Sweet. So a lot of them have long careers, and it's interesting to hear them talk about, or at the start, there's this pursuit and there's all this ego and there's all this stuff that takes place. And then over time, they sort of consciously move into a place where they're doing it more for themselves than for any sort of an outcome. And I presume that happens to a lot of bands that stick around, because obviously you're a different person 30 years later, or 20 years later for that matter. How did Andy Kent deal with all the changes over that period of time?
I mean, you're not really prepared for it.
No.
Like the first time we won a bunch of ARIA awards, we went to the airport. We were meeting at the airport the next morning at 7 a.m. and there's fucking news crews there. So it's a bit like who's landing, like who's turning up, and then you realize they're like, oh, so how about winning those awards last night? And you're like, oh fuck, they're asking us these questions. So yeah, nothing. I mean, we've only ever done one thing, and that's try and make music that we're satisfied with, and we've done that from the very beginning, and we still do it now. Like we'll be talking about what we do next, any second, and
Well,
maybe we
actually,
get a house in the hills and get all the gear and just fucking go for it for a
go
week. But
crazy.
we'd all be up for that, and that's what we've only ever done, and everything else just sort of washes around you. So
Having said
yeah,
that, there's been no singles for 10 years that I can see, and your last album was
uh,
2022.
yeah.
So,
2022, yeah, but that we had a song called "The Water Boy," which was in the top five most played songs in the country that year. So, even though it's band's been around that long,
no, not so
actually
much the
kind of like,
playing though, the creative. What have you got
oh
some
yeah,
music there on the drawing board?
oh look, there's always stuff bouncing around. It's just finding the
Time to get everyone
approach.
together.
Yeah, just finding like what's the best fit for everyone to go and do it, where, how, and with whom. Like takes time, but look, I think putting a record out, it's a big deal putting a record out. It's a lot of effort. It
Yeah,
costs a shit ton to
yeah.
gear up with all of your, get everything together. And, you got publicists, you got record companies, there's marketing, it's a whole fucking thing. So,
And then publicity. You got to go out and sell the thing.
you got it. And then I'll be talking to you again, you know what I mean? So, So
Heaven
yeah,
forbid.
it's a commitment, which is great, but you can't do it every year because it takes sort of a year to get together and then another year to roll out.
Unless you're
So
Dave
once you've
Graney.
done
I
all of
think
that,
Dave's brought out
oh
40
yeah,
albums, I think.
Dave just poos them out in a spare room and goes out for a gig the following weekend. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
Okay,
yeah, I don't
so
know. Yeah, it'll happen at some point, I'm sure. Yeah.
you've got an East Coast tour coming up, October, November, 5 or 6 dates or whatever, coming down the East
Yeah.
Coast. What are you looking forward to? What's that all about?
Um, I think to take out a string quartet and not bolt it on the side of a rock band it is going to be fun. Like I think we're all very, very clear and we're all on the same page as to how that should work. We've seen bands before who get up and play their rock songs, and somehow there's a bunch of people with stringed instruments that try and keep up, and it just does not work half the time. Why have they done this? So we're carefully picking the tunes that either have strings on them already or will suit it. But that's not to say the whole thing's going to be, watered down or quiet or it's not going to lack some energy and power. I reckon there's going to be some big moments,
Is it?
and
Is
I
it?
think those strings will and the band will bring it all
Yeah,
together
yeah,
and
yeah.
thrust it forward without it being boneheaded. I think we're looking forward to that challenge of trying to get that right.
Is there any rehearsal, or is it just like pretty
But there
much
has to be lots of rehearsal, yeah.
because there's a
Yeah,
synergy that's got to take place, obviously, because you guys know what you're
totally.
doing and they'll know what they're doing, but to bring it together in a performance-based sort of process, that's going to take a bit of doing.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
but I think the UMI fans will be happy if you go and shit in the corner. You know, they're pretty happy with whatever you do. I
Oh,
think.
mate, they won't. They'll be unhappy. But
Well,
look,
maybe
it's all
go on.
maybe some of them.
Yeah, maybe that's a bad description, but I think you could probably get away with a bit. I think Sinatra had a time when he was on stage in his 70s or whatever, and he forgot the words, and they started singing them back, and someone yelled out, "We've got you, Frank." So I'm sure the UMI fans will take care of you. Now
Yeah.
we're going to finish now with about 3 or 4 minutes of shit questions that everyone hates, all those novelty sort of
Great.
questions in interviews
Great.
because everyone likes.
Let me guess. What's my favorite color?
No, no,
What's
no,
my
no.
favorite pet? What do you got, mate?
Not so mundane, but um, if you could perform with any music artist, well, that's the straightforward one. Lots of people might have asked you before if you could perform with anyone, who would you perform with and why? No, you
I
can
don't know.
pass.
I had a weird dream when Malcolm Young died that they called
Oh,
me up and I got to play rhythm guitar with AC/DC. That was a dream though. Like, that's not going to happen. But
yeah,
just to be in tight with any really good band would be amazing.
they haven't been
So
the
yeah,
same since Bond died, and he died 40 years
they
ago. So
they got to quit. They got to quit. They're amazing, but they got to
yeah,
quit.
yeah, enough. Okay. How about what's the craziest thing you've ever done? Bands, most people don't answer this; they pass. So,
I
because
jumped off the Auckland Harbour Bridge a few weeks ago.
did you really? What
Yeah,
bungee?
yeah.
They had a. Did you see the bungee bird that they had set up and all that sort of stuff, and they forgot to tie her, and she
Oh, really?
jumped off to her death. So they had her, and
Oh
she
my
just
God.
jumped head first, and then they said, "Oops, we forgot to put the rope on the leg." That was a
Jeez.
big video. Okay, what about what's the one topic you can talk about for hours?
I mean, I don't know. Ceramics,
Ceramics.
pottery,
Now,
pottery.
most people would have expected that answer. See, that's what I mean. We ask questions that are pretty common and straightforward. Pottery, is that come from the
Yeah.
past, or is that something that you acquired later in life?
No, me and my girlfriend make all sorts of cool shit.
Oh,
Ceramic tiles and yeah,
that'd
look,
be
there's some shit here. Here we go.
that'd be pretty meditative
Like
around the
this kind of
kiln.
fucking this madness here, right?
Oh, you should
What
bring
is
out.
that? Fantasy glazed algae. There's two
You,
types.
You should bring out some UMI merch.
I totally agree. I
Uh,
totally agree.
we'll promote it for you. Okay, what's
Thank
the
you.
thing? What's the thing you like most about yourself?
Oh, I don't know. It's. I mean, who knows? The whole idea of who someone thinks they are is pretty impossible to get their head around. That's what humans are not good at, you know.
I think personally, I want to do I'm going to do a conscious podcast at one stage because I've spent the last 10, 15 years. I'm 68, so I've spent a lot of the last period in more giving than taking and all this sort of stuff. And I think
Yeah,
that I think there's a moment and there's collaboration with it all the way through your life, and that's all there is. And so everything else you
totally.
construct. So if you can work out that you construct everything, well, then every time you have a shitty day, it's just you constructing it, so you just reconstruct it. And there's a
Yeah,
practice in that. And I think that the benefit for musos is that they're much more authentic when they play because they go out and play for themselves. They don't play for any outcome or whatever. And I think the
yeah,
audience like that a lot better in my view. All right,
totally.
this is it, and this is pretty simple, really. Favorites all time, or they can be today. Just something you're listening to. Favorite album.
I think the Jimi Hendrix concerts, which is a live recording, and there's a version I experienced on there, which is yeah, it's kind of mental. And when I was a kid, I heard it from across the road on the other hill, and I just walked out of the house like this, and I had to go to it. And I walked into this person's house, and I walked up to the turntable. It was turning.
Sensational. I think you know how
So
many.
that
There's a
that's
stack
it.
of people that say Jimmy, and he's got to be dead 40 years. So that's an interesting one. Favorite
Yeah.
artist.
Oh, that's really hard. I mean,
Pass.
top 10 lists and favorites. I don't know. Jimi Hendrix. There you go. You get your answer.
Favorite movie.
Um, Paper
Huh?
Moon's pretty good. On the Waterfront's good. There's a, you know what? There's a Yugoslavian film from the Yugoslavian. It's sort of made in the 80s, but it's about the war. It's called Come and See, and it's the most incredible war film I've ever seen.
Subtitled.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm going to go
don't
watch
don't
it.
don't let that stop you. It's
I'll go
very,
watch it.
very
No, I'll go
heavy.
watch it. Well,
Yeah, go watch it,
in my old age, I usually put up CC anyway because I can't hear what's going on.
mate.
Favorite place to visit.
I like the mountains in New Zealand.
Yeah, well, they're
They're
pretty
pretty
cool.
special.
Queenstown.
Yeah.
Favorite venue to play, and you've played in a lot.
I love the Enmore Theatre in Sydney. That's kind of,
Classic.
we've played a lot over the years, but we're playing the Opera House for the first time soon. I'm really looking forward to that
The forecourt or
in the concert hall.
concert hall. Well, that's going to be big.
Yeah.
Favorite food.
Uh, uh,
Meat pie.
there's a lot of Vietnamese in Sydney, which is exceptional. And some Vietnamese dishes are a blend of French and Vietnamese. Like your banh mi sandwich is amazing if you get a good one. There are certain um, Vietnamese dishes which are really hard to beat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just before we go on, Malcolm Young, have you been down to his place there in Sydney? It's quite
You
massive.
know what? Across the road from Malcolm's place is there's a skeletal muscle guy that I go to for kind of like, neck things. And he was Malcolm's really good mate. He lived across the road from him. So every time I go and get a bit of a back twist, he tells me Malcolm's stories.
Yeah, well, I could imagine they'd be big because it's a big place. Favorite drink
I don't mind a martini. Got to only have one or two, can't have three.
these days. Favorite person in history apart from me.
Um, I don't know, my father. How
That's a
about
good
that
one.
one?
That's a good one. That's
Yep,
a good one. I think that's good. And you look like a clean skin. You got no tattoos.
correct.
Well, then you can't have a favorite, can you? That's
What
it.
do you mean?
Well, you can't have a favorite tattoo if you haven't got one.
I haven't got one.
Well, then,
Yeah,
then it's a stupid
move
question.
on.
Move on. That's it. That's it. That's it,
There you go.
Andy. That's it. That's it. That's
Oh,
it. So we've got the 5 dates coming up on the East Coast, October, November. So check them out. Uh, Andy's just committed to say that they've got new music coming out. There'll be an album out in September. No, no, no,
36.
no, no. So just keep your ears open. UMI, really legendary band. I know you won't like me saying that because you're sitting there all humble, but
You
UMI,
can say it, that's fine.
a legendary band. Everyone in Australia knows who they are. Congrats for the Hall of Fame. That must have been a good night, and to be included in that sort of company, you probably say it's a bit, a few years too late, but that's all right. But well done, man, and have a great tour, have a great life, and if I do this pod, I'll get you back and have a conversation with you about you personally and get you crying at the 10-minute mark.
We can talk meditation.
Do you meditate?
Yeah.
I meditate every day, every morning, half an
I
hour.
try and do it every day. I go out into the backyard, I sit on the deck, I can hear the birds, I can hear the insects. I
That's
just fucking find my peace of mind, you know.
You'll live till you're 100. The Chinese
Totally.
understand the chi that goes through the meridians, and basically
Yep.
goes down one side of the brain, and the side of the brain that's in the replenishment that you use before the age of 16 kicks in, and you keep on fixing the
Yeah.
body. So
I used to do Tai Chi. I understood the Yang Cheng Fu form from front to back.
unbelievable, sensational.
Beautiful, beautiful movement.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have something to talk about. Thank you, man. I really appreciate
Take it
time, and I
easy.
appreciate you coming on screen. You're a handsome devil,
Cool.
anyway. I'm sure the girls will love it. All the best. Thank you.
Take it easy, mate.
You
Okay,
too.
bye
Bye
bye.
bye.